Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Parks and Recreation and Leisure Activities Committee agenda, October the 4th, year 2023. Meeting held at City Hall, 12. Order of business called to order. Declarations of conflicts of interest. Approval of agenda. Adoption of minutes. Vote. Second. Business arising from the minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just a couple of issues here that I want to bring up. Just to update on the Parks Recreation Capital Projects, number 5. Just wanted to get some information regarding the green space that lies between Terry Fox Drive, Brighton Road, then there's also the Simmons replacement. I've been asking for a public open house on where we at with the new facility. I don't think we can do it in Simmons now because Simmons is now, ice is in, they're playing hockey there. So if we're looking at doing a open meeting with the constituents or the residents of Charlottetown, we could do it up here in City Hall, just to give an update. And then the other issue is, we did discuss it at our last meeting about these new user groups, the user groups being our Indians and Pakistanis, Bangladeshis looking for a cricket pitch, the pickleball issue. I know that in the Guardian this morning, Three Rivers has opened up their facilities for pickleball, and I think that we have to respond appropriately or accordingly. And I did speak to Councillor Bernard this morning. I was asking about the opening for the new Simmons rink. Do we have a date for that? But again, we have to inform the public, and I know you're a person that wants to keep the public informed about what we're doing, and that was the purpose of just having that open house, to give them an update. So just those couple of issues, if I can get, just through yourself, Mr. Chair, to the manager, or you can respond yourself.
Well, I think what we'll do is, what were the issues again? Oh, you got them all? Okay, Frank, I'll pass it over to you, and if you could respond, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair Tweel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Your Worship, so with regards to the shortcut pathway, we're getting that property surveyed right now, so Water and Sewer's in the process of getting that done. Should have it shortly. Once I get the survey back, we got to run it by the province, give it to them, get their okay. Once I have their okay, then I'll be reaching out to CADC to do up a design. Having said that, we only got budget for half of it, so we'll have to see what the cost comes in at. And they are wanting to go with a boardwalk, so might be a different price as well. So once I have that, it might be the design go out this year and see what the price is. We might not be able to do the work this fall, but it would hopefully be next spring. If supported by council, with regards to the Simmons replacement project, so we are going to do public consultation. It's not going to be an open house. We're going to do public consultation on Charlottetown Hall. Post the design, the updated design drawings, ask for feedback and comment. We're going to post an overview where things are at so that people can see where things are at if they have comments, and there's little things that they suggest we could change. We'll look at those. But the rink is well underway, and more or less what we want to do is provide the public sort of where we're at, a status report, what the design's going to look like, and all that. So that's on that project. With regards to the new user groups, we've been working with the pickleball group, and we've been able to accommodate them for additional time at West Raleigh Community Centre, at the outdoor facility and the indoor facility. We've also met with, what's her name, Christopher? Lisa Murphy. We've met with her with regards to discussion options for outdoor facilities. So we're moving along on that pathway and have been working with them and accommodating with regards to their pickleball requests. With regards to the cricket pitch, Christopher and I are just trying to find the opportunity to meet with them. It's been fairly busy, so that is on our list as well. And there's another individual there with regards to a basketball group that we've just been trying to arrange a meeting time. So, and then with regards to the opening for the new Simmons, right now we're just finalizing the date, but it's looking like the opening will be the 1st of October of 2024. as we're planning for the opening. We're just confirming the exact dates. We're just waiting for a couple, the community center portion, the steel, waiting for the official date that that's coming in, so then we'll have a better idea on all the rest of tenders that's filling in behind. So that is our anticipated opening date right now for that.
So, Mr. Chair, just quickly, I don't want to belabor this. So we're looking at the October of 2024 as the opening date of both pool and rink. That's my understanding. And as for using charlottetownhall.ca, that's a great idea, but I think the public likes to have a hands-on look at what we're doing. And I would really emphasize that that's what I've been telling residents who've called me or who have spoken to me, like, when are we going to just have a follow-up from the open house that I think was conducted by the former chair? Just again, it's all part of being open, transparent, and accountable. And, Mr. Chair, if I can just end on this point, is that this is the biggest project that the city has done. This is a $35 million project. And there's a lot of eyes and ears on this project, and I think the more that we can inform them, I agree with the public consultation through charlottetownhall.ca, but I believe just to give them a hands feel, or just have the architects and the engineers in a room where questions can be asked. And if you recall, Mr. Chair, I know in the first meeting that we had at Simmons back in 2021, there was talk about pathways, active transportation pathways to be incorporated into the redesign of the parking lot, and I haven't seen those yet, but that's why I'd like to have this public meeting or public forum. It's just an open forum to bring the engineers, the architects, just to give a good overall picture of what this new facility is going to look like. That's what I'm asking, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think Frank answered it. October 24, Frank, isn't it the new opening date, what we're looking at? I think it was like
Yes,
February, we were hoping. I think I heard you.
Yeah, we're October 20.
On that is set it back.
Yeah, October 2024 is what we're looking at, and that's if everything comes together. Potentially, the pool could open earlier, so that is possible as well, that it could open, because they're going to come in next spring to construct the pool. They're actually starting all the interior work this fall and working over the winter months, doing the interior work related to the pool. Then the pool will be constructed next spring, so it could be open midsummer is what we're anticipating for that, so we'll have part of a season for the pool.
Yeah, okay. So, because I think there was a date, I think we were looking at January, February, so it's the steel that's put us behind, the delivery of the steel. Is that correct?
That associated with it at the start, but there was also all the other tenders as well, were when contractors and supply, there's still supply chain issues as well, so.
Okay.
But it is moving along very quickly. Fitz and Snow has been busy and getting a lot of work done. We got the parking lot done this summer,
Like
which
all
was.
the tenders are out now, right?
Yeah, all the tenders are out, yeah,
Okay.
all the tenders are out, so, yeah, so that's, which has been excellent, but yeah, you're
Perfect, thank you.
welcome.
Your thoughts, Mr. Chair, about the forum? Are you just satisfied? Like, I'm just trying to get your input, because I know you were quite involved with the whole Simmons issue. I'd just like to.
I discussed it with the manager, and the manager indicated that he would like to pursue this vehicle in terms of public consultation. I think what we'll do is we'll give him an opportunity, give the department an opportunity, put it online, the revised plan. Let's see what kind of feedback we get from that first. And then if you know, we're getting concerns from the community that, you know, they're not happy with this, or they question this, and it's, you know, pretty intense, then I think we go to the next step and go to an open forum and have an open house. So I'll defer to the manager on this one. I've discussed it with him. I know that he did have meetings with an individual that asked some questions, and the individual was very pleased with the meeting that he had with the Parks and Recreation staff. So I think we'll go with that strategy first and then gauge it from there.
There's just on that, there's no revised plan.
No, just some revisions they're making,
Just
like revisions. Frank, you can elaborate there if you don't mind, please.
when you said revised plan, I didn't think anything.
Yes, Chair Twill, yeah. So it's just like the small updates that were made to different features of the facility. There's no massive change, it's just small things, so people can see the actual finish, what it's going to look like. So that's what we want to make sure we're sharing the most up-to-date ones.
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you for your comments, but at some point, I think I'm going to reach out and maybe just go out and do a visit myself. I'd like to just see what's going on because, yeah, I think I will, yeah. Thank you.
If you want, we can have the staff go with
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Sorry. Okay, I'll try it again. A resolution to award an RFP for park woodland hazard tree removal and fuel reduction. So this will be administered by Parks and Rec. Is there any collaboration with environment sustainability, like in terms of the work that they do? Or is this, an operational matter for Parks and Recreation Department?
Yeah, so Chair Twill, so yes, so we have worked with the Environment and Sustainability Department and also the Fire Department on this RFP as well. So you'll see the issue summary, the backgrounder that's in there is very detailed. It's a fairly long report, but it sort of shows the whole history of where this sort of came from. And of course, it was Hurricane Fiona with all the damage from the trees. And during the summer, we were receiving a number of calls. So we've been working with environment sustainability and fire because there was some concerns with regards to tree debris and whatnot that potentially was fire hazards. So with regards to working with them, they went out and identified the worst parks, and there's 19 sites that they identified that needs to be addressed because of where they're located in residential areas and whatnot. Just making sure I could capture everything here. So we went out to RFP, and we went out to RFP with regards to the types of equipment we needed contractors to provide, and also sort of the expertise, the qualifications, the technical aspects. So that was a big key part of this, because we're not wanting to go in and actually clear cut the wooded areas. We want them to go in to assess, remove trees that are hazardous, but also keep the trees that are good condition and not affect the root system and the environmental integrity of that wooded area. So there was a high level of expertise we were requiring with regards to this RFP, and we're working very closely with the environmental sustainability because it's part of the urban forestry. So you'll see the procurement details there. We went out on September 6th. The actual evaluation criteria that was used, there was 4 individuals, 2 from Parks and 2 from Environment Sustainability on the evaluation committee. You'll see that Laird Tree Care were the ones that scored the highest on the technical. They didn't score the highest on the actual financial score, but when we take everything into consideration, they did score the highest. And they have the Laird Tree Care has extremely high expertise in this area. So what we based it on with regards to minimal things that were required were the chip truck, the chipper, a tractor, and an operator. So that's what the price is based on. With regards to this company, of course, is the best understanding of our project needs. They have the necessary machinery required. They have extensive previous municipal urban forest experience in Charlottetown, and all their staff have over 10 years' experience. So that was very important to environment sustainability and to Parks and Recreation. The financial impact, and this is the part that we don't have this money budgeted. This is part of the Hurricane Fiona cleanup. So what we'd be indicating is that we're recommending, we went through and figured out sort of that we could make application to disaster release fund for up to 80% of the cost, so the city could potentially get that back. We did an estimate on if we had 24 hours per site is what we're figuring to clean up each site. That'd be 456 hours required for the overall projects of the 19 parks, and times the rate of 520, the total estimate cost would be around $237,120, plus applicable taxes. So that's where we're saying that that's the potential cost. If we get 80% of that back, it'll cost the city less, of course. And then with regards to just public engagement part, you'll see we've been receiving a lot of calls, as indicated, and councillors have been as well. We've been doing our best to address the things that need to be addressed right away. But we've worked with, this was when the subcommittee came into place, the Parks and Recreation, Environment, Sustainability, and Fire. And we sort of sent out some public communication that if there is hazards, you have concerns, direct them straight to fire, if they're fire-related. We addressed a few concerns operational, site by site, with a minimal workforce. We also provided oversight to the Victoria Park Woodland Restoration Project, which has gone quite well. And then we've also worked with Cycling PEI on the managing the hazard trees in the Acadian Forest, because they have trail systems through there. And we've also provided support to Wrights Creek Watershed Group with removal of hazard trees in conjunction with the silt trap of the management of the pond. So there's been a lot of cross working with other groups to address this, but these are key parks that if we don't get addressed, we just can't do them. There's going to be years for our department to do them on their own, and we also need that high level of expertise of someone coming in, removing them properly, and then recommending what could be replanted and whatnot as well to keep the integrity of the forest.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just they indicated there's roughly about 19 sites that have been identified. Do we know what sites those are? And could they be provided to the committee?
Yeah, so Councillor Matart, through the chair, the actual sites are all in the RFP. I don't know whether they're still online, but there's 19 of them listed there. And I can send them all to you so you know which they all are. But, for example, one would be the East Royalty, Cambridge Drive, Wrights Creek area. There's an area in there of a lot of trees. Skyview Park, we have a woodland area there as well that needs to be addressed. Paracus Mead, so it goes on from there. So they're all sort of smaller woodland areas that are close to residential areas, or they're close to recreational infrastructure. There are more properties, but they weren't seen as a high priority ones that needed to be addressed right now. And once we get down that list, if there's other ones that are identified, we'll probably be coming back to council as well. So I'll provide that list to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, as you know, I would be concerned about whether or not Joe Giz Park, there's a wooded area there as well that has been decimated by Fiona and has most recently posed a risk to safety of the residents and park goers, because there has been some activity that is happening within that wooded area. I understand there is to be some fires that are also being lit in that area, so I hope that that is one of the park areas that are being considered to be addressed. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So, Councilor Matart, that one's moving forward on another line. It's not technically a parkland, but I'll provide you an update on that. It is proceeding, and it's been a bit of a process, but that's working with 3 different departments as well. So we've got Public Works, Environment, Sustainability, and Parks and Recreation. Also, the province is involved in it since part of the land is on provincial land as well. So I'll give you an update on that
Great,
project.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Frank, are the trails in pretty good shape? Are trails that go through the woods from Fiona, are they all opened up? I know there was a lot of work being done on that after Fiona, and I assume most of that work is done. Is there still some trails that are?
All of our trails have been opened up. Now we're dealing with the stuff that are, say, off the trails, some hangers that could be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all our trails are opened up. There's a couple woodlands where there's some small little types of trails that were in them that this is going to be part of these cleanup as well.
Okay.
But yeah, all the major trails were opened up.
Perfect, thank you.
Mr. Chair, looking at the resolution, so the city will make claim. So that doesn't mean that the claim has been approved. We will make claim, correct? Mr. Chair, going through the chair to manager?
Correct, Your Worship. Yeah, we have to make claims. So we'll have there's going to be a very large claim coming from the city. I don't believe it's been made yet, but we have to first go through insurance, and the insurance says no, and then we go on to the.
This could be an
provincial
insurable, these 19 sites could be insurable, is that what you're saying?
Let's put it like this, we know it's not insurable, but the requirement is that you go through your insurance first.
Yeah. I would have liked to, I know the RFP is out there, but it would have been appropriate to have the 19 sites as part of the resolution. So the resolution going towards, when it goes to council, can you include those 19 sites?
Sure, I'll put it as an attachment in the backgrounder.
And last question, Mr. Chair, so $237,120, that's operational. That's, I couldn't see it in, is it operational or capital? Is it every
It's-
operating budget?
I'm not sure exactly where that comes from operational or capital because it's actually Hurricane Fiona. So right now it is operational is where it's budgeted. So that's where it would be.
So we haven't budgeted for this. This is,
No, it's money that's not budgeted for. It's part of Hurricane Fiona. None of our cleanup budget for Hurricane Fiona was budgeted money because we weren't expecting the hurricane to hit. So it's money that we'd make application to the disaster relief program.
yeah, but just, could you include the 19 for council when it goes to council? Thank you.
Second report, I know you'll be interested in this one, Councilor Matart. A resolution to award the tender for the J. Frank McCauley Park Trail upgrades. Frank?
Thank you, Chair Tawil. So you'll see the report was in your package. We went out to tender just recently, actually September 14th, or it closed on September 14th. And what with regards to this is since we didn't receive funding from the PEI Active Transportation Fund, we're recommending to go with Phase 1, do part of it this year, and next year we'll come back with Phase 2. We've completed the design for the whole project because we wanted to have it done to get an idea of what the design work was. We went out to tender in Phase 1. You'll see we received 2 bids, and the lowest bid is Island Coastal Services at $87,325 plus applicable taxes. And then you'll see that the engineering costs are $19,300 plus applicable taxes from CBCL. That is for both phases, but we won't be spending all this year, but next year we will. We had to award it. So you'll see there was $200,000 budgeted with a pending $100,000 from AT fund, which we didn't get. So we are short a bit in the actual budget, and with the 87 and the 19, we are short $16,958, and we're recommending we take that from the Waterfront Access Beach Development account where there is sufficient fund, and it's unlikely these funds will be spent this year. There's still too many unknowns around our beach access and our waterfront access and beach development to move forward on that. So it's good to get, and the section that's going to be done, you'll see it's actually the section that runs from the Spring Lane Road that runs over and goes to the parking lot. It's the one that we're having extreme issues. It's low, it's failing. There's a lot of foot traffic and whatnot. So, and then the other section that goes, that connects off that will go all the way over to Beasley Avenue. We'll be looking at doing that next year. It's in better shape, and we'll be able to make repairs to it, but it does need an overhaul in the future.
Thank you. Frank, did the PI Active Transportation Fund, did they give a reason why they were not supporting this?
They didn't give a reason why. They just say that it was, I assume they have a certain pot of money, and they had to spread the pot of money around. So we did get money for the East Royalty pathway, but just didn't for this project.
Yeah. No, I just wondered if, okay, so it's just yes or no, they don't give a reason when they don't want to fund, they don't give a reason. They don't say we're out of
Not-
money or?
No,
Okay.
not usual.
Okay, thanks.
Councilor Matart?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was indicated that the original asphalt pathway was not designed to be plowed in the winter. My question then is doing this first phase, what is going to be different about the construction of this that will allow for, better maintenance of that and longevity with the platform that is being laid out?
So the base material is going to be upgraded to the sufficient gravel. When it was designed for a 3-season use. And that was back, near 20 years ago. So now that we are keeping it plowed, we have been for the last 5+ years because it is a main connector between that area. And it is in a low area, as you're quite aware. The area that is standing up better is actually in a higher area, so it's not breaking down. So this will be designed to be able to accommodate one of our sidewalk plows.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
I know, Councilor McTurk, you've been very persistent on this trail upgrades, and I know the people in that community will be very pleased with the results when it's finally completed. So I know it's been a very pressing issue in that particular community. So thank you. Oh, thank you. Moved, yeah, right, move sec. Okay. C, Winslow Lions Club Partnership to assist with the providing of water access for the new outdoor rink.
All right, thank you, Chair Tweel. So this is a request that we recently received from the Winslow Lions Club. I don't know if, I think I brought it up at the last meeting here, or a meeting or two ago, that they are constructing their own outdoor multi-sport facility that will be an outdoor rink in the wintertime. And we met with them and they asked if we could assist with operations, which we said, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. We would look at not having a rink at Highfield and assist them with maintaining this rink here, which would mean flooding it and that kind of thing. Once we looked at the size and looked at where it was located, so we sort of said, okay, how else can we make this more efficient operation? So we would like to install water access out at the actual Winslow Lions Club, the rink where it's located. There happens to be a water line that runs right by the corner of it, and which means we have easy access to hook up a water access. What this will do is actually allow us to for us not to bring water trucks out there all the time, because it is out and about. It'll allow that our staff can go out. It'll also allow for the Winslow Lions Club volunteers, who are going to be assisting with managing the facility as well, to actually flood. So we can't get staff out there and they can flood it, they can hook up the hose and flood the area as well. It's going to make for a more efficient operation and make for very likely a better ice surface. We'll still have to go out and do our grooming and whatnot of the ice. With regards to the associated costs, we did work with the Water and Sewer Department on this to get their input on what was required. They provided us a little sketch. We went out to 2 companies to try to get an idea what the cost would be. One got back to us, and it's estimated to be $24,000 plus applicable taxes. We don't have this item budgeted, but we are recommending that we could reallocate funds from the same account I'm using again, the Waterfront Access and Beach Development account within our budget to assist with putting this in at this location. It is a capital upgrade, and if it's supported by council, it will also give us that our name could be associated with this facility as well. The Winslow Lions Club have been the lead. It's their facility. They've obtained funding from the provincial government, but it's in a location that I think will offer an activity to individuals in that area that don't have access to that type of recreation facility. And just one more comment, they are having their official opening this Saturday. So they've been moving nicely on getting the facility up and going.
Oh, that's great, Frank, and hats off to the Winslow Lions Club for taking the initiative to construct a facility. I think it's timely. I've been by to see it. Looks like a really nice facility, and again, a real credit to that organization, and I think it'll be well received by the community. And the one of the advantages of that facility is that it's right out front of their community hall. So they'll be able to host events, serve hot chocolates, especially during the winter months, put on some chili or whatever. And I think it's fantastic and a nice model for that community.
So just a little history, if I may. This came
Yep.
about whenever we were having funding trouble building the one in West Royalty. You remember we were short $150,000, $200,000. So we had gone out to Winslow Lions Club as a possible partnership. The provincial government at the time, under Jamie Fox's department, was community affairs, was saying we needed a partner. So we went to meet with them, and they were pretty excited to partner. And then, so after that, we found out that there was funding through the federal government. And that's where we ended up getting our money to build the one in West Royalty. And the Lions Club still wanted at that point to build their own.
Yeah.
So I believe they got the plans from ours. There was people that were on that construction, on the first one, that actually are members of the Winslow Lions. And at that time, they had asked that when it was constructed, could the city flood it? So, but anyway, it's another facility that's out in that area. And as everybody knows, usually you build them, they'll come. So I agree with you. I think this is a great project. It was a great community project. So,
It is. It's a great project.
so that's where it's come from. It's good to see that they stuck with it. They wanted to have that rink built. They were looking forward to funding ours, but they wanted us also to move it from where it is now out to the Winslow Lions Club. So when we got our federal funding, that dropped us, and then they wanted to build their own, so, good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all good. Justin?
So I'd be in favor of this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree too. I mean, I think this is a really great return on our investment of $24,000 to
Oh, yeah.
$30,000, depending on taxes. To contribute to the community out there, it certainly provides them with great access to all year-round services that otherwise would need to be trucked in and out, as you said, on different times and stuff. So I'm very supportive of moving this forward to council as well.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moved?
Yes.
Moved. Second? Motion carried. Thank you, Frank. Okay. Item D, minutes from the Seniors Engagement Committee. It's there just for information purposes, Frank? And any questions on that or I'm sure you read it. And then we also have the one for the Youth Engagement Committee. For information purposes. Frank?
Yeah. Yes, and just with regards to the Seniors Engagement Committee, the group's been together quite a while. I have just recently forwarded on a few ideas they had with regards to, it was more to do with senior safety and whatnot, so I forwarded that on to the police department, and they're going to look into it. So you'll see any actionable items in the minutes, we send them on to the appropriate department.
I read the minutes there, Frank, with regards to, I think are they having a meeting tomorrow?
Yes, correct.
And I think they want me there, I believe. Anyway, more discussions on drug paraphernalia. Okay. Move for adjournment.
Just introduction to new business. I just wonder if I can probably add an item for the next meeting.
Sure.
Just looking at the artificial ice pad. And I assume that's the one that's still going down to Founder's Hall that we had last year?
Correct, it is going down to Founder's Hall, and we're looking at getting that in, it's probably in December that it'll be put in place so that it's ready to open earlier, so.
So can I have on the agenda to request, I'm looking for one for Hillsborough Park, and I may have 50% funding coming from the provincial government. So I should have that confirmed by next meeting. Yeah, that's all I want, yeah.
We'll add.